my chips, I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6 stacks. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash, standing on business, tycoon rich. I'm rich. Flipping my chips, I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counted up 6. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash, standing on business, tycoon rich.
All right. Great morning. Great morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We are going to go over NAS, trading the NAS index. We're going to talk about what that is. We're going to talk about how we actually trade it. And then we're going to go into some other opportunities that may have been presented in the past, since yesterday. Okay. And then we're going to talk about some news, how it's affecting the market, and get into some possible opportunities for today. All right. So let's go ahead and look at NAS for today. So we already know that it's an index that caters to investors interested in innovative growth and oriented companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and others, offering a diverse selection of industry leaders in driving economic progress and technological advancement. Okay. And so these are some of the companies we already mentioned, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft, but some other companies that you all may be familiar with are Monster Beverage, Adobe, Raw Stores, right? We have Intel, Cintas, Comcast. So these are just to name a few. And we trade the performance of it. And so yesterday, NAS went on a nice little run yesterday. We're going to talk about that as well. And we'll see if it wants to continue that momentum today. All right. So this is what we trade every morning at this time. I'm live every Tuesday, 8:45 on YouTube. But as far as the Academy is concerned, we trade this every morning, except for Mondays. Okay. All right. So if we look at, let's talk about how we actually trade this pair. I'm going to break it down as simple as I can. I always try to share things from a novice perspective and kind of work my way up, just so even if you don't fully understand all of the steps, you can kind of follow along, right? Because it takes time and repetition to fully understand all of the steps that are presented. But if you continue to show up, like I always say, you'll continue to see the results that you want to see. So great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning. Okay. All right. So let's talk about how we actually trade, not just NAS, but how we trade any pair. Okay. Because honestly, I say this all the time, whether you trade futures, options, Forex, it doesn't matter. If you understand market structure and you just learn the risk management for whatever tool you're using, you can be successful, because at the end of the day, the patterns are what you're looking for. Okay. You're looking for, okay, what direction is the market trying to ultimately move into? And how do I trade, and how do I know when to get in, right? When those opportunities present itself. So one of the things that has been very helpful for us lately is the 200 EMA. And it's been very helpful because the market has been very volatile lately. And, seeing the pattern of the past, because that's all the 200 EMA is showing the pattern of the past 200 candles, right? The activity of the past 200 candles. And that helps to create a clear picture of what you should be looking for, right? We call it directional bias. Okay, so I'm going to draw an illustration of the 200 first, and then we'll talk about the other EMA as well. All right, so here's our 200. And so what will happen is the 200 could probably look something like this, right? So it doesn't just move straight up or straight down. It might move sideways, and then it goes up again, something similar to this might come down a little bit, but the ultimate direction that we can see here is that it's moving up. Okay, so that means our directional bias is looking for buys if this is the ultimate direction of the 200. Okay, so we'll put this right here. I'll just put 200 EMA so you guys can have a label for that. Okay, 200 EMA. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can really see it. All right, and I'll put a caps on that. Okay, so that's the 200 EMA. So you guys understand that this is the directional bias of your trades. All right, and we like to look at the 15-minute chart for the directional bias. Okay, the 15-minute chart is pretty standard for us because we do a little bit of intraday trading with that. Okay, so we have our 200. Now I'm gonna use let's see, I'll use red for this next EMA. Now with this EMA, you'll have something called the actually I use a smaller one. You'll have something called the 20 EMA. Okay, so you might see something where it'll cross over the 200 EMA, right? It'll make a nice move to the upside. It might cross back down, and then it crosses up again. Okay, and then when it consolidates, it just kind of goes back and forth like this, and then it'll cross up again, right? And so you'll see this pattern over and over and over again. Now, what I want to highlight is where do you enter, okay? Where do you enter when you see this opportunity? Okay, where do you enter when you see this opportunity? And great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning. All right. So let's go look at it. So every crossover that happens in the direction of the 200 EMA are great opportunities of entry. Okay. Every crossover in the direction of the 200 EMA are great opportunities for the 200 EMA. And I'm explaining it in this way first because when it gets to the charts and you guys see the candles, I want these lines to be clear and very vivid for you all. Okay, so let's look at this. Let me see. Let's put a circle around each point of entry that will be solid. Let's make our circle, let's change the color on this. Let's make it yellow. Okay, that's the text. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right, so what we want to do, it's too light. Let's go purple. Orange. Okay, orange is good. Okay, so here's a point of entry. All right, but then we have another point of entry, which is here. Right? We have another point of entry. So I'm just going to highlight all of the crossovers. And we're going to look at how many wins and how many losses based on these points of entry. Because you're not going to win all of them, but you should be able to win more than you lose if you're trading in the right direction. Okay? You should be able to win more than you lose. I would say if you're trading in the right direction, you should be able to win at least 70 to 80 on a worst day, like if the market is consolidating. But if it's moving up or clearly moving down, you should win close to 80 to 90%. Okay, so let's look at this. When we are trading, okay, for those that may not be fully familiar, all right, we want to look for, let's see, I'll make it green. When we're looking for buys, I'll leave this up here. It's all about trading in the right direction. When you trade in the right direction, you are profitable. If you're not trading in the right direction, you're not profitable. So we're looking for buys. When we're looking for buys, we want the market to go up. Okay. When we're looking for sells, we want the market to go down. Okay? We want the market to go down. All right? So here we have multiple opportunities where the price is going up. So if I'm looking at this, I know that my direction for buy should be going up. The 200 is already telling me that it wants to move up. Then the only thing that I'm looking for are buy opportunities in this circumstance here, right? So here's a buy opportunity. Here's a buy opportunity, right? All of these circles that I highlighted are buying opportunities, okay? You want to catch the crossover at the bottom because that's where the strong moves happens. Those are normally coming from your pullbacks to push to a higher level, okay? So let's highlight which ones were wins and which ones were possibly losses, okay? So if we look here, this crossover that happened here, moved up nice here, right? So this was a win, okay? This crossover here was a nice win, right? It moved to the upside. Now this crossover here was a little bit short, so this one might have lost here, okay? This is where we see like some consolidation or even a ranging market. This is when it gets a little murky here, okay? So we did not win that one. This crossover here made a nice push to the upside. That was a win. And then this crossover happened here to the upside. That was a win. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, and 4 out of the 5 would have been winning trades just by following the direction of the 200. Just by following the direction of the 200, looking for buys, having a directional bias, that would have put you in that position. Okay? So that's what we're looking at when we're looking for buying opportunities. Now, let's see what it looks like when we're looking for sell opportunities. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all of this, and we're going to see what it looks like for selling opportunities. Okay, so let me get rid of, actually, I'll just bring them down because I'll need my circles in a minute because we're going to need some entries for our sales too. Okay, so I'll just bring them over here for now, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and draw the 200 EMA again, but this time we're going to see the direction of the 200 EMA is going to be based on a downtrend. Okay, so what we just saw was an uptrend, so that means we look for buys. Okay, now we're going to look at a downtrend, so we look for sales. And great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning. Okay, so we come down here. Okay, might see a little push to the upside a little bit, but the ultimate direction, a little bit of sideways action here. Okay, down here. Okay, and so what you'll see with this type of setup, let's make it blue. All right, so this is our 200 EMA. Let me just point this out. This is our 200 EMA right here. Okay, I'll put that right there. That's our 200. So now let's look at our crossover here. All right, so we have the blue line crossing over. All right, and then we get a nice push to the downside. Come back up. All right, then we get another crossover to the downside. 200 stays beneath there. And then we get a couple of crossovers here. Right? Then we got a nice push to the downside. And the 20 just stays under. So this is our 20 EMA. This blue line right here. This is our 20 EMA right here. Okay? So let's point out our crossovers. So we have one here. We have one here for our entry. Because remember, we want to look for those crossovers that's going to the downside. That's what we're looking for. Those crossovers that's going to the downside. Okay, then we have one here. All right, so those are our point of entries. So now let's count out. So remember, when the market is going down, okay, when it's going down, our directional bias is sales. We want to look for sales. Okay, we want to look for sales. All right, so if we're looking at this here, let's look at our records here. Let's go back and look at the points of entry. Okay, so if we're looking for sales here, right? Here's a sale opportunity. Here's a sale. Here's a sale. Okay, and if we're tracking this, we can see, okay, this was a win, right? When price, it was a nice drop to the downside. Price crossed over again here. This was a win, a nice drop to the downside. This one may not have been a win because the move was very short here. As you can see, the market move a little sideways, so that might not have been a win. But this one here, that moved to the downside, that was a nice win here. And all of this is going to come together when I move over to the charts, okay? But this is your 200 EMA, this red line right here, and then the 20 EMA is this blue line right here, okay? So these are the opportunities that we're looking for, okay, when we're looking for our standard entries of trading. Now with NAS, because it has a tendency of doing a nice breakout during market open, we look for the 200 as our directional bias. So are we looking for buys or sells for the day? But we also look for another layer, something called a BPC. That tells us our ultimate decision when price is breaking out of a certain area. Okay, so for our regular Forex signals, our regular, gold and NAS signals, this is what we look for, crossovers, right? But when that breakout happens, we look for a specific pattern to tell us, is the market trying to move up or down, or is it trying to reverse? Okay, so let's get into what that looks like. And I'm going to break that down. I'm going to show this illustration on the chart because I don't want you all to lose sight of this, and then I'll get into the BPC. Okay, and great morning to everybody that's joined. Great morning. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this up and let me go to the chart, and I'm going to show you all. We'll just go to a random chart, and we're going to look at what I just talked about. Okay, we are going to look at what I just talked about. Let me see if I can find us a decent chart here. I believe so. Let's see. We'll go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. All right, so let's look at this. This is Euro USD. We can clearly see this blue line right here. This is my 200. We can see that the 200 is clearly trying to move up. Okay, similar to my illustration. All right, now when you see these crossovers happen, you see that there are opportunities that are that are in the direction of the 200. Okay, so here we have, let me see, let me get my pen. Here we have a crossover that happened here. Nice push to the upside. Okay, that's a win. All right, let's go back. Let's look at the next crossover. So here we have another one. And hold on, let me see if I can get out of this. Okay, there we go. All right, we have another crossover that happened here. Nice push to the upside. Pinches are fine as well. Pinches mean that the price comes down very close to the 200 or at the 200. It might not cross over, but then you get a nice bounce off the 200 to push to the upside as well. So we go over that as also. But again, here's another crossover. Nice push to the upside. All right, and then here you can see price flattens out a little bit, right? Okay, so we get a crossover to the upside, so that probably wouldn't have been a win, these two crossovers here, right? But this crossover here makes up for those two small losses. Look at this crossover here. Beautiful push to the upside. Okay. Another crossover here. Beautiful push to the upside. So as you can see, there's a tendency, there's a pattern that is happening here. And that's what I want you all to be able to identify. If I know that the 200 is ultimately trying to move to the upside, I'm going to put in two positions. My first position is going to take profit at my immediate swing, most recent swing, right? And then my second position will be my trail because I don't know how long it's going to move up. Or I might set a longer TP2. I might just let it breathe, just depending on the tendency here. Because imagine this. You entered, let's just say off this swing right here, and you held it all the way up to here. That's a great risk to reward ratio. Great risk to reward ratio. Okay. So that is an indication of an uptrend. So let's see if we can find a chart for the downtrend. Let's see if USDJPY is what we're looking for here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and we're going to move over to the left. Okay. All right. So we'll just use this right here for an example. Okay. So again, this is the 200, this blue line here. This is our 200. We got a crossover here. Look at this nice move all the way down to the downside. All the way down to the downside. Another crossover here. Nice push to the downside. What's the direction of the 200? It's going down. Okay. So how do you know if you can hold the trade or not? Well, it's very simple. Does the 20, this white line right here, is it staying beneath the 200? As long as that 20 is beneath the 200, you can let that trade ride out. Okay? Your exit is when it crosses back up, right? You enter again when it crosses back down. Very simple. Very simple. Okay? So that's an example of the 20 and the 200 when you're looking at both an uptrend and a downtrend. So that goes back to the illustration that I talked about. Okay? Now, let's talk about BPC and how do we enter the market when NASDAQ breaks out. We're going to talk specifically about that. Then we're going to go and look at NASDAQ and see what opportunities and what levels we should be looking at when it comes to that. So BPC is a very simple concept. And the more you see it, the more it'll become clear as day for you to identify. Okay? So let me switch back over to my whiteboard. And then I'm just going to I'm going to draw out a couple of levels, what we call, and I'll talk about that as well, so you guys can see the significance in that. So let me just get over here. All right, cool. Awesome. And guys, if you have questions, please feel free to put that in the comment section, wherever, so that I can address that and answer it as best as possible. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Let me go back to the whiteboard. All right. So let's talk about BPC. So I'll use let me see. I'll use blue as our key levels for right now. We'll use the color blue. Okay, so with our key levels just basically means that that it is significant areas in the market where price has maybe bought or sold, okay, at specific levels. So we'll use these three as key levels for right now. All right, and I'll use this this yellow as like my kind of like the pattern for the candles. Okay, we use something called a zigzag, right? So all right, and then I'll come back up here and we'll go like that. Okay, so let me extend this line over. All right, so With our key levels, we identify significant areas where price might have bought or sold. Okay. First and foremost, in order to understand key levels, you must understand support and resistance. All right. So when we're looking at support and resistance, it's important to understand a few things. Resistance, I'll start with that one first today. Resistance is considered like a ceiling. Okay. So I always use this analogy. When you throw the ball towards the ceiling, the natural reaction is for the ball to what? Bounce down. Okay? So every time I throw the ball to the ceiling, what happens? It bounces down. Okay? Now, eventually, you keep doing that, you're probably going to break the ceiling, right? It's at some point, that ceiling, the ceiling is going to break. Okay? So this is the ball. And then it comes down here. Okay? So resistance, meaning price is resisting to move past this area. Okay? This is considered our ceiling. So resistance equals ceiling. Okay? When we see areas of resistance, we look for sales. We look for sales. Okay? So price comes up here, it moves down. Okay, it showed us one time that it wants to move down at this price level. Price comes back up to this area again, and it moves down. All right, that's 2 times when price came here. So if it does that again, there's a high chance when price gets back at this area that price is going to try to move down. Okay, price is going to try to move down. All right, so that's resistance. So now let's talk about support. And all of this is going to tie in together when we look at these key levels. Okay, so support is the opposite. So with support, I'll make this one green. That's your floor. Support is your floor. Okay, so when you throw the ball, all right, throw the ball down on the floor, what's the natural reaction? The ball bounces up. Okay, you do it again, throw the ball down to the floor, what's your natural reaction? The ball bounces up. Do it for the third time, the ball bounces up. Okay, so these are significant levels. The floor is supporting price. It's not letting it fall past this level. It's supporting this price. So when it comes to support, you want to look for buys. Okay, every time when price came up here, what did it do? It went up. Remember, with buys, we want price to go up. Came back down here, went up. So there's a high chance if price comes back down here again, guess what? It can go up. Now, does it work like that all the time? No, because eventually floors have to break and ceilings have to break. The price just doesn't move sideways all the time. Okay? But when you see that tendency, you have to be able to recognize it. Okay? So now that we have a clear understanding of that, let's navigate to this illustration here. So we're looking at opportunities to both buy and sell. Okay. So the reason why we use key levels is because it helps us to identify significant areas in the market where price wanted to buy multiple times or where price wants to sell multiple times at a specific area. So for example, if we look at this area here, okay, when price came up to this area here, what happened? It went down. Okay. Came back up to this area here. What happened? It went down. Okay. Came back up to this area here. What happened? It went down. So if you see multiple areas in the market where price sells at least 2 or more times, that is a key level. Okay. That's one example. The other example is the buy. So if you see multiple areas, so here we got one opportunity where price went up at this level here. Use the floor. Remember the floor went up again. Okay. So this is a key level because we have two or more areas where price bought at the same area. Okay. Same thing here. Price came here. It went up. Price came here. It went up. Same thing here. Two or more areas where price bought at the same level. So this is considered a key level. Okay. So now that we've identified that, let's talk about the BPC. So with the BPC, what we're looking for, because we already know that market does not move sideways the entire time. At some point, it has to break out. But how do we identify a clear breakout? So let's just say that this is current price. Okay. So we look for 3 moves. Okay. Our breakout. Let me use a bigger pen. Hold on. Let's see. We look for a breakout. So imagine that this is a green candle. It broke past this key level right here. The candle broke past this key level. But that's not enough because sometimes when price just breaks out like that, it'll come right back down in the channel. And now you got into a buy up here and price just reversed on you. Okay. So we got our breakout, but then we have to look at the next move, which is a pullback. This pullback is so essential because that helps us to determine, should we wait for our buying opportunity to get in or should we no longer look for buys? If that pullback comes down to this key level, so let's just say that this is a red candle and it comes down to this area here, at or around this area. Sometimes it'll come down a little bit here, but as long as it doesn't come all the way down here. Okay? If that pullback is here, that is a valid pullback. Why? Because let's look at this. When price comes, let's think of it. Let's say that this level right here is now our floor. When price comes down to the floor, what happens? It bounces up. Well, this is showing you that when price came down here and is staying here, this is our possible level of support. But how can we confirm if it's support or not? That's where continuation comes in. Okay? So with continuation, we are looking for a strong bullish candle to pop out to the upside and past our pullback area. Okay? So now what price is telling us is that it broke out of this area. The bulls are trying to tell us that they're in control now. Okay? The sellers try to fight back, pull price back down, but they weren't strong enough to do that. So now the bulls basically have another strong candle that shows us that they're in control. And typically what happens when we see this pattern is that we see continuation to the upside. Okay, this is a bullish BPC. Here's our breakout. There's our pullback. And there's our continuation, BPC. Okay, now a bearish BPC is the opposite. And I'm going to hurry up and wrap this up because we're getting closer to our market open. Okay, a bearish BPC, and normally I don't go through all of this on live, but we're going to do it today. So here we got our breakout. Okay, here's our pullback, right? Price pulls back, uses this as a ceiling now, resistance. Remember we talked about resistance. And now it continues to the downside, So typically when we see this pattern, price follows suit. Okay, so that's the pattern that we're looking for when we're trading NASDAQ, our points of entry. Okay, so we look for our directional bias, which is the 200, and then we trade accordingly to that. Okay, so let's go back to our chart. Let's go look at NAS, and let's see what opportunities we have for today. Okay, so let me switch over here. All right, awesome. So I already have the BPC labeled. By the way, we are approaching an all-time high for NAS. So let's just kind of keep that in mind as well. Okay. Let me just verify that. Let me go to my monthly chart just to make sure. Yep. We are approaching that. Yep. Okay. So let's go back to our 15-minute. Okay. So a couple of things we have to identify first. What's our overall direction of the 200 right now? What is our overall direction? Okay, we can see that the 200 is trying to move up. The 200 is trying to move up, so our directional bias is a buy. Now, although it's a buy, we have to be able to adjust to the market. Okay, we have to be able to adjust to the market. So, when the 20 is far away from the 200 like this, you got to be careful because typically a reversal is probably going to happen, especially because we're near an all-time high area. Now, breaking past here, yeah, you just want to kind of see how far this, okay? So now that we know that, I'm going to adjust this. Let me just go ahead and make a copy of this, and I'm going to put this here. So the reason why I'm putting this this zone here is because it's a indication to myself that if price comes down here, this is where the 200 is going to be in this area for off the 15-minute chart. Okay, because you'll see me, I'll kind of go in between charts when we're trading. Now for the BPC, we're looking for that on a 1-minute chart, by the way. Okay, so yesterday we won our trade yesterday, and it was some volatility that happened. I was trying to hold my trade, but price came down and ended up going in the direction I wanted it to go, but it's all good. Okay, so we entered here, and that was for my second position. Where were we? Okay, so we entered here, and we got out like somewhere here. Okay, and so initially, when the market opened, as you can see, there was a huge wick on this candle right here. All right, so we were in between the 200. We didn't know if price was going to go down or up. But how were we able to determine not to actually get into that sale? Right, that was a bait a trade right there. Okay, so if we look at the tendency, this is why you always want to look left and see what has happened in the past. Price respected this area 2 times where it went up. Every time it came down here, it went up. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I want to see price pass this area here because it clearly bounced up twice here. If it passes here, okay, cool. Then I'll take my sell down to the next level. But it never really passed that area. Price found support. So now I knew my next entry was past this area. Boom, we got in and we took the trade. Okay, we took the trade. Or actually, it was this one, this area here. We got in and we took the trade. Okay, so we looked for a BPC there. Now, where we are right now, and for all those that might have joined, great morning, okay, great morning. Thank you, booking BJ the Poet. I appreciate that. Thank you for always locking in your support. All right, so let's see. So if we look here, let's go to let's see here. Let's go to, let me go back to my chart. Let's go to where we are right now. Okay, so what I'm looking for are a couple of things. We already know our directional bias is a buy. Okay, so we do know that. But now it's a little tricky because we're further away from the 200, which tells me that this move to the upside could start to become exhausted, right? So we can see here when price was close to the 200, we had a nice push to the upside. But as it gets so further away, you can even see the candle start to not be that reliable, right? So, and then also keep in mind, guys, we have news at 10 o'clock also. So if we're not in the trade by 9:45, we're not going to take it. Okay? Well, I'm not going to take it. All right, so that's where we are. So here we have the basis, right? This is our ultimate level of support. This is our floor, okay? We cannot ignore this. So if we get a selling opportunity, okay, where price breaks and we come down to the downside, we have to be very, very cautious of this level right here, 21,861, because this is where the 200 is. Wherever the 200 is, it can serve as a strong level of support, okay? A very strong level of support or resistance, just depending on where price is. All right. So I want to see a BPC at this level here. Let me get my pen. At this 22,167 level or this 22,054 level. I want to see a breakout pullback continuation, here, or I want to see a breakout pullback continuation to the upside. All right. That's what I want to see. Now, on the upside is we have to be cautious because we are approaching an all-time high, and this is typically a psychological barrier for a lot of sellers. A lot of traders. So you'll have some traders who are very optimistic and think price can push through and create new all-time highs, or you'll have some traders who think, okay, this is a great opportunity to sell. Okay, so if we get an opportunity to the upside, I am going to put in 2 positions, but as soon as if it hits take profit 1, I'm going to instantly move my second position to break even. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's a short area for it. I'm moving it to break even. And the reason why is because this is a very risky level here. Okay, this is a very risky level here. All right, so that is what we are looking for. We have about 3 minutes and 15 seconds until the market opens. I like to always do this. What do you guys think we're going to get into today? Are we getting into a buy or a sell? Put it in the comment section for me if you can, guys. Are we getting into a buy or sell? What do you guys think today? What's your overall analysis on that? Are we getting into a buy or sell? What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. A buy or a sell. My directional bias for today is a buy personally, just because I'm just going off of the 200. But I am open and optimistic, right? And objective if the market wants to do otherwise. That's one thing you don't want to do, is getting caught up in your analysis thinking that that's the ultimate decision of the market, when the market can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants. So never get too caught up in an analysis where, if you're wrong, you kind of get stuck there. If you're wrong, it's okay. Like, that's part of the process. You're not going to be right all the time. There's literally millions of people trading at the same time. And to believe that your outlook on the market is going to change anything is not a good way to look at it. Okay. So what do you guys think? Buys or sells? Buys or sells? Let me know. Let me know. Buys or sells for today? What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know. All right. And while you guys are doing that, we have 1 minute and 35 seconds left until the market opens. So let's see how this thing moves. Now we are near. Happy New Day, Mary. Happy New Day. We are near this this bottom key level here. Okay, Mary says a buy. Okay, all right. I think a buy too, Mary. I'm actually hoping for a buy. That would be great. And to be honest with you all, if we could get a buy, let's say we come all the way down to this area here, and we find support and catch a buy here, catch a BPC here to the upside, that's a great entry. So we'll see. I'm honestly kind of opposed to even looking at a sale right now. If we get into a sale, I'm going to be real with y'all. Now that I'm kind of looking at it, I want it to pass this 200. Anything above the 200 is risky right now. Okay? So that's where we are. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's see what opportunities we are presented today. And let's have a great day. Let's have a great day. For those of you all that are in the academy, you guys should know how to use the calculator over here for your positions. Just make sure that it's managed properly. That's another thing. I'll talk about that next week as far as managing your trades. But today I just wanted to kind of go over the fundamentals and the basics. I'll leave this live up actually because I think this was really good as far as breaking down things from the beginning to kind of where we are now. All right. So the market is open. I'm going to go to my 1 minute because, like I said, we are near this level right here. And let's see if we get some breakout type of formation here. Let's see where we are presented today. So it looks like price is trying to break out, but we'll see. We will see, guys. This has, and I always say, wait until the candle closes. Never make a decision on a candle that's still moving, right? So that's always essential when it comes to trading, all right? You wouldn't make a permanent decision off of somebody that's indecisive. So that's how you got to look at the candle. Let it make its decision first, and then you make yours, okay? All right, so it looks like the bears are trying to push the price down. Bears just means the sellers, and bulls just means the buyers, for those of you all that aren't familiar. Okay, we're finding some support here. All right, remember when price comes down to the floor, if we up, that's support. That's the floor. Let's see if it can continue to push to the upside, though. All right, let's see if we can continue to push to the upside. Now, I do kind of like this area as a point of entry right here. If we do get into a buy, let's see. I'm gonna put a small little line right here. Okay, and see if we can get a little BPC right here, because that's actually not a bad area to enter right here. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see what we get. I'm going to go ahead and get my prepared in case we do get a buying opportunity. Okay, let me get my calculator prepared here. So my stop loss would be right under this area here. My take profit would be TP1 would be here. Okay, and then I will probably put either TP2 here or let it ride. We'll just see how this plays out. But we can see that price is finding resistance here. Okay, so let's just look at this. Remember, we look at the patterns. When price came up here in the past, right, it hit a ceiling. What did it do? It went down. We're getting right back up. Look how price is reacting to the same area. Came right back here. What is it doing? It's getting some resistance to push to the downside. So now what we have to see is, do the bulls have enough strength to break past here? Or is price going to continue to reverse to the downside? We just make adjustments based on the way price is moving. Okay. Now, the sell to the downside, I'm going to be real with y'all. I do not like it if it's not past that 200. There is selling opportunity, though. But I personally do not like it if it's not past my 200. My 200 is down here. So that's a nice price gap, to be real with y'all. But for me personally, I'm gonna look for the directional bias of the 200. Okay. But I will call out if it is, some opportunity there. But personally, I'm just gonna wait for my buying opportunity, whether that's breaking past here or if we find support down here. And if we don't find support down here, then we could possibly go to the downside. And then now I will feel a lot better about the sale, because when price breaks that 200, typically that's an indication that price is either reversing or the sellers are in control momentarily. Okay. So we have about 25 seconds here. We're getting a little bit of back and forth movement here. Okay. And this could be because we have news at 10 o'clock. So also be prepared for that as well. Okay. So now what I'm looking for, let me switch back over to my buy. I'm looking for a BPC where I want to see breakout. Hold on. I want to see a breakout, pull back to here, and then a continuation to the upside. That's what I want to see. Okay. That is what I want to see, but we'll see if we get it. Okay. Daisy Jennings, I'm so glad I found this channel. Do you do this every morning? I'm a beginner, so I have a lot to learn. Well, welcome, Daisy. Thank you for joining, and I'm glad you did find this channel. I do this every Tuesday at 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and for the people that are in the academy, I do this every day for the students that are in the academy. So thank you again for joining. Welcome. All right, Michael says a buy. Okay, Mike, I think it's a buy too, Mike. I definitely think it's a buy. But let's just wait. We're going to be patient. Patience is another part of trading, guys, that you have to really, really hone in. I know sometimes it can be anxious, especially when those candles are moving really, really fast. You know, you get anxious a little bit, but it's okay. Look for your pattern. Look for your setup. Let it come to you. Don't force anything. Let it come to you. That's essential. If you can control your emotions and how you look at the market, that eliminates half of your struggle right there. Okay. But right now, NAS is just kind of playing and it's going back and forth, which is actually not uncommon, again, because we see that there is news and it's a lot going on in the news right now. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the news prior to our session. But as you guys know, bombs dropping in Iran, you got the terrorists. It's just a lot of moving pieces, and it's created some uncertainty in the market for some traders, to be honest with you guys. So you might see price moving sideways when that happens. But again, we don't try to assume that we know exactly what's happening. We just adjust to what's happening, if that makes any sense. So as the market changes, sometimes your strategy has to change if you want to continue to be successful. So you might have a situation where the market is going on a trend for weeks, months, and it's just really good. And then you might have it where it consolidates or ranges for a while. And that same strategy you were using for trends is not working for a ranging or consolidated market. So you have to be able to adjust and be objective. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if we get this breakout right here off this candle. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And let's see if we can get a breakout, pullback, continuation. Let's see if we can get our formation here. Can price break through, or will the sellers reject price like it did in the past again? So we got a rejection here, and we got a rejection here. So let's see if the buyers can break through this time. Let's see if they can break through. And if not, that's totally fine. But, we just adjust to whatever happens. Oh, it looks like we're getting rejected again. Let's see. 30 seconds left on this candle right here. 30 seconds. Yep. So it's repeating the pattern once again. This is why you always look to the left to see what has happened in this area. Look to the left. What happened? When price came up to this area here, this is our ceiling. Remember, we talked about our ceiling. What happened? It went down. Okay. Price is reapproaching our ceiling again at this same exact level. Same exact level. And what do we see? Price is trying to push down. So this is not uncommon. This is not surprising at all, because it's already shown us in the past that it wants to push down at this level. The buyers are just going to have to come in with a lot of force if they want price to go past this area. There's sellers sitting right here waiting for price to come up so that they can push price down. Okay? So again, we just let it come to us. And this is why we like the BPC, because we get that confirmation. All right, the breakout is fine, but how do we know that there aren't sellers sitting right here to bring the price right back down into the channel, right? That's where that breakout pullback uses it as support, right? And then we get the continuation to the upside. That's our confirmation. All right, so let's look and see what we get here. Let's see if this is our candle that breaks us through. We want to check off those 3 components: breakout, pullback, continuation. If we can check off those 3 components, then we have a good possible entry for a buy. Okay, so we got 35 seconds left on this candle. Again, we always want to wait till the candle close. It can start off small and end up big, or it can start off big and end up small. So we really have to be patient and wait to see if it's an opportunity. Okay, so we have 15 seconds left, and let's see if we can get some opportunity here. Let's see. We're still sitting here. We haven't broken through yet. So let's see if this next candle does it. Let's see. Still sitting beneath this level. No breakout yet, guys. We want that candle. And here's another thing. We want the body of the candle to break past the key level, not the wick. Okay, so this small little line right here, that's the wick. The body is this. This is the body of the candle. This is the wick. That little, it looked like a little stick right there. That's the wick. Okay, we want the body of the candle to break above this key level right here. And as you can see, it's kind of teetering back and forth right here. So this is still not a breakout for me. This is still not a breakout. I need that body to clear this level. I need the body of the candle to clear this level. All right, that's a breakout. That's a breakout. The body is above that level right there. Okay, so there's our breakout. Let's see if we can get a pullback. And sometimes what'll happen is when you get your breakout, it'll keep going until it hits a level where it has to pull back. So don't feel anxious on that as well. Like you have to chase a trade. If you're chasing trades, you're not doing it right. You should not be chasing trades. Okay. Here's our pullback. That's our pullback right there, guys. See how it's staying above this area right here? That's our pullback. Now let's see if we can get continuation on our next candle here. Let's see if we can get some continuation on our next candle. Meaning price came down. As you can see, this wick right here, it came down here. That wick is an indication that price came down here. It's finding it as support, right? So that's our pullback. So now let's see if we get continuation. Okay, so that's our pullback. So now let's see if we can get price to break past this area right here. If we break past that area, let me see. I haven't even been measuring my trade. Hold on, guys. Let me put my little line here. I always like my little entry line. I'm going to let it close above. I like it. All right, let's see. I think I can move my stop loss up now. Just a little bit more now. Okay. 0.03. 15 seconds left. If this candle closes above, then I'm gonna get in. Okay. If it closes above that little green line I have there. 5 seconds. 4. Okay, so it didn't close above yet, so I'm not in anything yet. So this is still considered a pullback. Now I'm going to move this up a little bit. I need that candle to break above this area right here in order for me to enter. So look at what we see. We got our breakout. These 2 candles will be considered a breakout because they're both green, right? We got our pullback here, that red candle. Now we need our continuation, because the reason why we need our continuation is because we want to see if price going to come here and then come all the way back down, Or is price going to come here, use it as support, and then we get a strong candle to push us to the upside? That's what we want to be patient for. All right. So that's why we got to let our candles close to see where the body of the candle lands. All right. That's very important. Now, based on where I am, I'm going to increase my lot size a little bit more here. Let's see. Let me move this. Okay, so that's 7. So now let me go. I'm going to go up a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's see if this next candle. So this pullback is still valid, guys, because it's at our key level. Now we want this candle or the next candle to close above this green line. That's what I'm looking for. If we get that opportunity, I'm getting into a buy. And you guys can see my levels over here to the right. I don't really need to kind of broadcast that. But this is the price right here. This is where I have my stop loss. This is where I have my take profit. And this is where I have my stop loss. And if you don't fully understand this, it's okay. I'll break this down. I'll go over this in the next session. But this is just basically price levels, okay? And I'll like I said, I'll break that down next time. Okay? But here we go. Let's see if this next candle breaks us through. I'm sitting here. It looks like it's getting some momentum, but we got to let it close. All right, that's nice. Not yet. Now, if we get all the way up here and it hasn't fully closed, I'm going to get in because that's telling me that we have momentum. Okay, but we still sitting right here. So let's see what we have. We still got 30 seconds left. Can we get the continuation like we want? Being patient. Don't want to, especially with NAS. NAS will definitely show a lot of pump fakes in the market. For those of you all who have been trading with me, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. 10 seconds. Let's see if we can close above. A little bit of hesitation there. See, we got to be careful. We didn't break past it. Let's see if this next one does what we needed to do. Let's see if this next one does what we needed to do. And we are getting close to news, so we want to be careful with this. We need to be in the next couple of minutes, or we're going to hold off. Here we go. I like it. Let's see if we can close strong, though. 25 seconds on this candle. I'm looking at the time over here, too, for you all that don't know, by the way. Here we go. Let's see. Cutting it a little close. They playing games right here, y'all. They are playing games. Let's see. Patience is key. I'm just waiting for a little bit more clearance, and then I'm going to hop in. We right here where I want to be, but I just need a little bit more clearance. Let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get it. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. All right, I'm in a buy. I'm in 2 positions. 2 positions for a buy. Okay, 2 positions for a buy. So we'll see how this plays out for us. Now, these are my levels here. Let me see. Let me go. Let me pull it up here. Let's see. My stop loss is at 22,069.60. And my take profit is at 22,126.46. So we'll see how this plays out, guys. Let's see if we can catch some support either here, worst case scenario at this little 200 off the 1 minute right here, okay? And see if we can get a nice push to the upside. So we broke past this pivotal level here, but let's see if it serves us as support here, okay? So those are the two areas that we're looking at in regards to support. Okay, so we got 5 seconds left on this candle here. It's coming off pretty strong here. Let's see if the next candle, let's see if the buyers fight back on this next candle right here. And we have news in 10 minutes. 10 minutes, guys, we have news. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right. And I think that's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens. We have, let's see, 40 seconds left on this candle. Oh, this thing is coming down strong. It's coming down strong here. Let's see. Look like it's trying to find a little support off this 200, though. We'll see how it closes. 25 seconds left. If we get more wick right here, that's a great sign. If it closes with more body, then that's a cautionary area right there. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how it closes out. 10 seconds. Now, NAS is extremely volatile. So, that's another thing to kind of keep in mind when it comes to NAS. It is a very volatile pair. Okay. I was trying to sit in a move yesterday, and the move was correct, moving to the upside. However, I was stopped out due to the volatility of the pair. So I closed on TP1, but TP2 didn't go as planned because of the volatility. Okay. So we'll see how this plays out right here. It is a good sign that we see a little wick off of this 200, but this next candle has to be pretty strong. Otherwise, we're probably going to continue to come down. And if we look to the left here, let's see. There's a little bit of selling pressure here, but the real selling pressure is up here, which is our take profit is right before that area. So we'll see what we get with these next couple of candles here. Okay. All right, we got 2 seconds left on that one. Oh, that was a strong one right there. So the buyers will have to definitely come in like right now, which doesn't look like they are, to be honest. Let's see. Let's see what we get here. Almost stopped out. Not quite yet. Yep, just got stopped out. All right, just got stopped out. Let me close that other position manually here. Let's see. Let's close that one manually. Also, keep in mind, guys, when you guys are putting in the two positions, you want to make sure that you have your stops. If you don't have a stop, that you get out manually from those positions because of that. So let's just keep an eye out on this, because what could possibly happen? And I'll show this. Hold on, let me go to the 15-minute real quick, so you guys can kind of see what's been happening with NAS. So yesterday, and I'm going to come back to where price is after news happens. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer than I usually do. But yesterday, we got into a buy here. We had a nice, strong, volatile wick down here. So that stopped out a lot of people. We didn't go for that one. We got into this buy. But a lot of us were trying to hold a position, the second position here. But as you can see, price came all the way back down here and then pushed to the upside. So a lot of volatility that's happening with NAS, and that's exactly what we're experiencing right now. Okay. So I'm going to look for one more opportunity to get in. And then if not, then we're just going to go ahead and call it a day. All right. But that is one of the things that we have to be a little bit cognitive of when it comes to NAS, is because it has been very volatile lately. All right. So your ultimate direction could be correct, but you could get stopped out before you even get to the area that you want. Okay. So let's see if we get one more opportunity. I do believe we're still going to move to the upside, though, especially because we see price kind of holding here. Right. So let's just see what happens. Let's see if we get another opportunity. Okay, it's 9:54. 9:54. So after 10 o'clock, we'll see if we get more opportunity. But right now, it's just a little too risky to do that. Right now, we have about 5 more minutes left, and we're gonna go from there. Okay. Okay, so Daisy, you said I would love more information about your academy. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so Daisy, the information will be under this this video as well. But if you go to the website, and then you can also join our Telegram if you want to contact me directly. And just join our Telegram. But if you go to bluechipsacademy.com, that'll have the information about the course. And like I said, you can contact me directly via Telegram or on Instagram, our Instagram page as well. You can send me a direct message. And if you have questions or you just want more information, just feel free to contact me, and we can connect that way. Okay, I would love to speak with you about that. All right. Absolutely. So let's see here, guys. It is 9:55. We are going to wait and see. And if not, it is totally fine. We're not going to force anything. Okay. We got caught right at that little pivot right there. So we got our BPC, but we didn't get our continuation like we wanted. Okay. We didn't get our continuation like we wanted, which is totally fine. Okay. At the end of the day, again, you're not going to win all of them. Last week we were 4 for 4. This week we're like 1 for 2. So we'll see if we can close out this week with a high winning rate. If we can get a win here, we can still close the day off with a winning day. So we'll see if we get another opportunity. Okay. So let's see, 9:56. Let's go over what the news is actually talking about today. I didn't get a chance to, but while we're waiting, we can actually go over that really quick. All right. So this is forexfactory.com. For all of you all that aren't familiar, you should be looking at this every day before you trade. I can't express enough how important that is. Okay, so let's see. Booking BJ Depot, look like the market is going to consolidate for a while. However, the 200 is definitely a magnet, and prices will eventually go back to that 200 level. Absolutely. The 200 is like the granddaddy for price. It's either going to serve as a strong level of support or resistance. Okay, so that's a very, very good point, booking BJ Depot. Very good point. Okay, so let's go back. So if we're looking at the news here, again, this is forexfactory.com. You have to look at this every day. And the reason why is because you may believe that your analysis is correct, but the news, because it's unpredictable and we don't know how people are going to respond to it, the market can move in any way it wants, right? And so you don't want to get caught in that just because we don't know how the market is going to respond to it. So you can see at 10 a.m., there's a red folder. Federal Chair Powell testifies. Okay, so if we click the folder here, it kind of gives you a little brief synopsis. It also gives some supporting links here. This one actually, I guess they're going to be broadcasting this on YouTube. Okay, so if you want to actually look at that, you can. But basically, due to testify on the semi-annual monetary policy report before the House Financial Services Committee in Washington, D.C. So we'll see whatever that news report is. We'll see a reflection of that in the market. Okay, and that's why you want to kind of be cognitive of what's going on. So these are some supporting articles here if you want to kind of look at that. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and navigate back to the chart. But I wanted to go over this so you guys could have it. Again, this is forexfactory.com. So you guys can see what's happening. All right, so let's go back here. And let's go back to the market. So we can see that we are getting some pushback from the bears right now. We are getting some pushback from the bears right now. Very interesting. Okay. All right, so We have how much time left? 30 seconds. 30 seconds till 10 o'clock. Let's see what opportunity we are given after news. Let's see if we can get back in. And if not, that's totally fine. Again, we're just going to kind of take what the market gives us. Okay. 7 seconds. Here we go. All right. Let's see if we're live. Let's see what the market wants to do. Now, typically when it's a speech, you might have to wait a little bit because he has to actually get out whatever he's trying to say. So, we could be sitting here for maybe like 5 minutes or so, or maybe 10. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. We'll see. But it looks like we're trying to find some support. So we'll see if we get another crack at this level again. If we break past it, I'll get into another buy. This could have just been a deep pullback to break out some stops here to push price to the upside. So we'll see. We're going to let it come to us and go from there. Go from there. Here we go. Here we go. 50 seconds left on this candle right here. Definitely finding some support. I'm also looking at a W pattern. I don't know if you guys see that, but that's one of the things that we teach is down, up, down, and then possibly a leg to the upside. Okay, that's called a double bottom, where price finds support twice at the same level. Okay, that's a double bottom. All right, so let's see what we get here. Be prepared. We might get a big candle that pop out of nowhere, so also be prepared for that as well. Sometimes that happens with news. All right. So we're about a minute in from the news and see if we get any updates here. I'm not listening to it right now, but sometimes it's kind of cool to kind of listen to what they say and see how price responds to what they say and understand how it's all connected. It's all connected. All right, let's see. Let's see if we get another opportunity in today. Let's see. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We're just experiencing consolidation right now, y'all, where price just moves back and forth. So there's 3 different types of market conditions. You have consolidation, okay, where price just kind of goes choppy like that. And then you have a ranging market. Okay, so with the ranging market, you'll see this here. Okay, then you have uptrend. Then you have downtrend. Okay, right now, this is choppy. All of this is choppy. Okay, so we are consolidated right now. We are consolidated. 20 seconds. 20 seconds right now on this candle. We're going to give this thing to about 10:15, and then I'm going to wrap it up, guys. If I decide to get back in, for those of you guys that are already in the academy, I'm going to post it in the chat if I decide to get back in. But let's see if we can catch another entry on the live session. Let's see if we can catch another entry. Let's see. And if you have questions, guys, please feel free to ask. Okay, please feel free to ask. Please feel free to ask. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. 25 seconds left on this candle. I know it's not the most exciting thing right now, guys. But this is where patience comes into play. This is where patience comes into play. We're going to wait. It'd be the moment you walk away, and that's when the price takes off and you miss your opportunity just from not being patient. Just from not being patient. All right, here we go. Let's see if we're picking up a little bit of momentum right now. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Let me see if anything updated on Yahoo Finance. That's another place we look as well for the news, like detailed information on the news. Nothing yet. Okay. Just waiting, guys. Just waiting. Just waiting for price to break through. If it wants to break through anyway. Based on the news from yesterday, it was stating that how the bombing in Iran left the Feds uncertain about the monetary policy. That kind of, I guess, threw them a curveball. So I'm not sure if we're gonna have like too much clear information off of this testimony today, but we'll see. Personally, I don't like the news, honestly, but it's necessary when you're trading. You have to stay updated on what's going on if you want to be successful. Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds left on this candle right here. And it's 10:07 now, so I'm going to give this thing about 5 to 7 more minutes. And then we're going to wrap it up for today. But I'm definitely going to say I'm going to leave this live session up. A lot of good nuggets here today. You guys can go back and watch it and share it and all of that stuff. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for me. Hit the bell notification so you can know when I'm posting or when I'm live, and look forward to continue to connecting with you guys. Okay, so we got 10 minutes. We're almost 10 minutes in from 10 o'clock from the news. Still no motion yet. No motion. Consolidation. People are on the fence. They don't know which way to move. That's what consolidation means. There's uncertainty. They don't know if they want to put in a lot of money to sell off in the market or if they want to put in a lot of money for buys. So, a lot of uncertainty. And if we don't have any clarity in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're getting some push now. Let's see. The bears are waking up. Let's see. The bears are waking up. Let's see here. Yeah, let me go to my 5 minute. This level. Look at that. Look at all of this noise right here. And that's exactly why we lost here, because it's just choppy. We broke out of this area, but it's just a lot of indecisiveness. That's something you cannot avoid. That's something you cannot avoid. And so, you just got to play the game. Let's see here. So we got a strong red candle that came out of there. But now looks like we're getting a strong bullish candle too. Might be one of them days, y'all. We might go ahead and stay out. We'll see. We will see. Couple more minutes. When it's choppy like that, there's only so much we can do, guys. Y'all know that there's not that much opportunity when it's choppy like this. So we'll see. Couple more minutes. And again, thank you all for joining the live session. I really appreciate all of you guys being here. Okay, I hope that you guys got some value from the information that was shared. And we're just going to keep building this thing day by day. Mary says, since I've joined the academy, my patience has gotten so much better and I've saved some money. Absolutely, Mary. I love that. I love that for you, for sure. And I love how your independence has just grown more and more since you've been a part of it. Definitely one of our great students there. Sylvester says ceasefire. Yeah. He actually I'm looking at Yahoo right now, and he's talking about the telling Israel to ceasefire of the bombing towards Iran. It's just all over the place, man. We're not gonna talk about that, but yeah. So that's we probably gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. I don't see price really doing too much right now. I'm not saying that it's not opportunity here. Eventually, it will break out, but you can't make hard. I'm not gonna say you can't. It's hard to make money when the conditions are like this, and it's just not moving. We are literally, there's news that just happened, and price has not moved significantly. Okay. And when you see that happening, you have to be cautious because that just means that there's no distinctive direction that the market has chosen yet. And when that's the case, it's hard to actually pull profits out of the market because there's no fluid movement. And that's what you want to look for, is fluid movement. This choppiness right here, nothing comes out of that. Nothing comes out of that. Okay. So that's the basis of what we're looking at right now, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Again, I'm on here every Tuesday, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Invite your friends, invite whoever can benefit from this information. Okay. Ask your questions, bring your questions. I'll answer them the best way I know that I can. And we're going to continue to learn, grow, and build together, guys. And the goal is to get our first payout in the next couple of weeks. And then after we get our first payout, we're going to scale that account up to 100,000 and then pull payouts from that account as well. So we're on track to doing some really great things, guys. Let's stay diligent. Let's keep pushing through. This type of market conditions is very new for a lot of traders. Even like I have mentors that's been in the game for 20 plus years and they haven't seen the market like this. So, we just got to keep our head on a swivel, make the adjustments that's needed, and continue to go from there. And again, guys, for those of you all that are in the academy, if I do decide to get back in, I'll go ahead and post it in the chat. And we're going to continue to move forward from there. All right. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Hope to see you guys next Tuesday. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the